Okay, Jed, just for reference sake, I think I've said this once before. I was on Fresh and Fit, and it wasn't. I think it might have been in 2021 actually. I was sitting next to this one girl, and the girl was 19 years old, and she did not look like she was 19. She looked like she might maybe mid 20s, but she had a lot of work done. She had a boob job. She had the implant or the collagen in the lips. She had I remember her specifically because she had like the bedazzled like little jewels over her eyes or whatever. And I looked at her and she's kind of sexy. I looked at her and everything. And then she had mentioned at some point in the show that she was 19 years old and her body count was 15. At 19 years old, her body count was 15. Now, when she was put on the spot right there, she wasn't like, she wasn't like super proud of herself, but she was just kind of like, it is what it is. And so when I saw that and I go, well, she was younger than my daughter. At that time, I believe she was about the same age as my niece. So I'm looking at that. There's a qualifiable difference between the woman who's sitting like to my left or right or wherever she was, and like the women that I know in my life personally, such as around that same age demographic, which is my daughter, my niece, other women who like follow me, whatever I work with as well. And I'm like, there's a qualifiable difference between these two. However, is the mentality and the perception the same and she just acts on it, or is it something that women are really good at keeping a secret of? What happens is guys like this don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that the chick sitting next to them could have done, a four-way for OnlyFans, or could have done, formerly did porn, right? Or was ran through by a guy with a yacht. They don't want to believe that is possible. And so they don't want to think the worth, again, it's sort of like the women is wonderful psychological dynamic, but I think that there's sort of this, they have to suspend disbelief, and they don't want to, especially when suspending that disbelief is not in the interests of their sexual strategy.
I mean, if you're in double digits at that age, there's a problem. So when you say they're saying it, so then maybe they're lying.
No, I'm not saying that they're not telling the truth. Individuals are going to have their own experiences, and yes, I'm sure there are. Let me just finish
this though, and then you can get back to the stats on this. But I want to say, because you mentioned a few things, I don't want to lose. You talked about Fresh and Fit talking about how they're run through, they're damaged. That is a reality. They are. A lot of those women are deeply, deeply damaged.
Okay, so this is the myth of the damaged girl. This is damage control. I actually have I have a post on my blog. This is not in any of my books. Damaged goods. That's what it is. Damage. Whenever you say a woman is damaged, that's cope. That is a cope right there. I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm saying people too readily default to using say she's damaged. She has daddy issues. That's cope. Okay. You don't know anything about that chick. Maybe she enjoys doing what she's doing. The reason why I say that is because when I go to something like the AVN, or when I'm talking to Sterling Cooper, who knows women who are in the porn industry, they're not all strung out on cocaine. They're not all, being pimped out because they're hooked on heroin or something like that. And that's the only way they can get their fix. Strippers in the strip club, they're not there. They're all earning their degrees, right? They're all paying their way through college, right? OnlyFans. Women, when they get on OnlyFans, they're not on there because I hate every minute of it. Are you fucking kidding me? They love it. They would not be, if it was torture, they would not be doing it. They love the attention, and they are not, quote unquote, damaged. Now, could they be a little bit whack? Could that environment and their choice of lifestyle influence the way that they perceive the world? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean they're fucking damaged, or they have some sort of personality disorder, or that they're only there and they only behave in that way because they're insane. She's insane. No, they do that because they are incentivized to seek attention. They are incentivized to be sexy, because that is when women are at their most powerful. Sex is women's first primary agency. In some cases, it's their only agency. For the most women, sexuality is their only a real agency in this world. You've heard me say this, but you've probably seen my hashtag. They always get naked. And guys will throw, and you can keep sending me these if you want, but like they'll show me like like feminist protesters in Argentina, and they're just like, free the nipple, whatever it is. And they always get naked. And the reason why they always get naked is because women on a fundamental psychological, some level of consciousness, they understand that sexuality is their only agency. If you want a person, if women want attention, if they want people to pay attention to them and listen to what they have to say, they will shuck all their clothes off and run around naked in a riot like they did in 2020 in Portland. And they'll have some white knight there to defending her honor, right? While she's just gallivanting around like Lady Godiva in the middle of some Portland, Oregon, Antifa riot. Why is that the default? Why is that? Oh, we want to be able to take our clothes off whenever. The reason is because that is women's only agency. If women want to be heard, they take their clothes off. That's the default. Let's see. Rolo, when I think damage, I usually associate it with her having increased likelihood of being an alpha widow. True, but is she damaged? Because are all women who maybe this is a good question. Thank you for that question. Here, I'll give you this. In fact, you can have that. Are all women who are alpha widows, are they damaged? Damaged by licking the ice cream. And by the way, if you want me to explain what licking the ice cream is, just go look at the freaking video. Please go look at the video. It's a Hafizism. It's the ice cream store. Ice cream are the women, and the players get to go in the ice cream store and they sample all the ice cream. And so when you get to go to the ice cream store, it's already licked. And you don't want nasty pre-licked ice cream. That's what that's about. I'm in a nutshell, but you can go. I did a full episode. Go look at it. But are all women who are alpha widows, are they all damaged? I would argue not necessarily. What is men's agency? Whatever you become. That's the beauty of it. It's like men don't have agency. You're born without agency. You create and make your own fucking agency. Maybe it's your muscles. Maybe it's your game. Maybe it's your money. Maybe whatever it is. Your power, your control, your let's say there's I don't know if I've ever talked about hypo agency versus hyper agency. Hypo agency, the world happens to you. Hyper agency, you happen to the world. Men, where's your agency? It should be hyper agency. You have to become, men must become, women just are.